Well, I was really pleased to hear that it was going to happen because I was struggling with my anxiety and the way I think, my negative thinking. I knew that it was going to be helpful because it addresses exactly that, how we think. I learned a lot about how the brain and the mind works. It's toolbox, I suppose, toolbox with all the different things I can do in different situations, different level of anxiety, panic attack or stress, whatever it might be. There was always something that I'd learned that I could reach for, and it was life-changing, really. And I felt more powerful, more in control of my anxiety. I didn't feel helpless in the face of it anymore. It was just a way of living a better, happier life. It's so easily accessible because there's so many different ways that Sarah has put it, that the person with no knowledge of recovery at all has got something there that they can use. Anybody can access it, and that's the wonderful thing about it. It's all levels and all personalities, all levels of negativity combine something there to help them. The first thing that comes to my mind, I would say, what would you do for a friend? Would you want them to have a little bit of relief from this torment that is mental illness? And can you be that friend to yourself? It's an act of kindness to yourself to make an attempt, however much you don't want to do it. And that's another thing that Sarah taught, how we can be kind to ourselves, because that is such an important part of healing. It was life-changing that I could do more things, go more places, because I felt like I had support with me all the time because of what I'd learned.
Hello and welcome to the second of the 4 sessions which make up the 3P's workshop. I hope that you have had a good and positive time since the last session. Today, I will be talking about why our primitive mind may be working overtime and causing us to become and remain ill. But before I do this, let us have a recap from the last session. If you are experiencing new and prolonged symptoms of anger, anxiety, and/or depression, you should speak to your GP. Do not stop or reduce your medications without first discussing it with your GP or mental health support worker. The core part of our brain, the bit that makes us who we are, is attached to 2 other main parts, the intellectual mind and the primitive mind. The intellectual mind is optimistic, sensible, innovative and sunny, and when we're operating from this part, life is generally good. The primitive mind is pessimistic, obsessive, vigilant and repetitive. This part of our brain is essential for our general safety, but can kick into action either too much or at inappropriate times. As I said earlier, our primitive mind is there to keep us safe. It kicks in when we sense danger and keeps us alert. However, when we are thinking negatively or our anxiety levels go up, whether in a gradual way or instantly, we lose intellectual control and, to a greater or lesser extent, our primitive mind takes over. So, how and why do we create this anxiety which causes us to move from the intellectual, sensible part of our brain to the angry, anxious and depressed part? Negative thinking causes anxiety. It is not necessarily the events in our lives that cause the perception of crisis or danger. If that were the case, everyone who had to go to a meeting or appointment with a stranger would be experiencing anxiety, and we know that this is not the case. This indicates, therefore, that it must be our negative thought patterns surrounding the situation which causes us anxiety. Every negative thought that we have is converted into anxiety. We can create anxiety by negatively forecasting the future. Big things like, I'm going to become ill and die, or nobody likes me, or smaller things like, I need to go to an appointment, or the postman has delivered a letter to me. Now, before we go any further, it is crucial to understand that the mind cannot tell the difference between imagination and reality. Intellectually, you know that there is no reason why the appointment shouldn't go well. They usually do. But being you start to doubt this and look for reasons to disprove it. You think about the appointment going badly 50 times before you go to it. When you do attend it, the appointment actually goes really well. But your mind, which remember, cannot tell the difference between imagination and reality, has registered that you have gone to 51 appointments, 50 of which did not go well. Therefore, the next time you have to go to an appointment, your primitive mind will trawl back through its experiences of previous appointments and recall that only one out of the last 51 appointments you attended went well. So it will register appointments as something dangerous or unpleasant and put you on high alert about them. We can also create anxiety by recalling time and again unpleasant experiences we have had in the past. We have all had experience of unpleasant or unhappy things happening to us in the past, but most of us appear to forget about them in the main and go on to live happy, healthy lives. However, some of us do not. The more we keep thinking about our unpleasant past life experiences, the more unpleasant past life experiences our primitive mind records us as having, and so the more control this part of our mind exerts over our present and future behaviour. In the words of Richard Reeves, a happiness expert, a happy life is not a life full of blissful contentment. It's a life that contains elements of tragedy, challenge, misery, failure and regrets. But it's how we deal with them that makes the difference. To sum up, what this all means is that the more negatively we think about our past, present and future life, the more our primitive mind will be in control, and the more likely we are to experience anger, anxiety and or depression. These negative feelings and thoughts feed into each other, causing more anger, anxiety and or depression, and we quickly find ourselves living in a vicious cycle of negative thoughts, creating negative feelings, creating negative behaviours. Our sleeping and eating become disturbed. The levels of adrenaline and stress hormones in our bodies increase. Life becomes pretty grim, and we become pretty ill. But don't panic or start thinking negatively. There are things we can do to break this cycle of negativity and improve the quality of our lives. And we will go on to look at these in a moment. Although I'd like to remind you that if you are experiencing ongoing symptoms of anger, anxiety and or depression, you should always go to see your GP about them. They will be able to assess what level of intervention and support you require. What is important to remember is that the more positively we think about our past, present and future lives, the more our intellectual mind will be in control, and the more likely it will be that we are positive, happy and able to find solutions to most things. When the intellectual mind is in control and we are thinking and acting positively, we have high levels of positive chemicals like serotonin, noradrenaline, dopamine and endorphins flowing, and these create more positive thoughts, which create more positive actions, and on it goes in a positive cycle of thoughts and behaviours. And so, to put it completely simplistically, to move into the intellectual part of our brain and then stay there, we need to practice the 3P's: positive thoughts, positive actions, and positive interactions. Well, if it's that simple, why does anyone suffer with mental ill health? There are many and varied reasons for this, but what is known is that however well or ill we are, the more positively we can think, the more positively we will behave, and the more positive our life will become, even though those levels of positivity will vary for us all. Also, thinking positively is not actually that simple. Remember I said earlier that the primitive mind is not innovative. This means that it relies on old patterns of behaviour to decide how we should behave next. So, if you have been thinking negatively for some time, or have been feeling angry, anxious or depressed for some time, the primitive mind will try to keep you doing this going forward, as it thinks that this is what is actually keeping you safe. Intellectually, we know that this is wrong, and that you would be completely safe and potentially much happier if you thought and behaved differently. So now we have established the following. Our primitive mind is there to keep us safe, but it can go into overdrive, making us ill. Negative thinking causes anxiety. Anxiety allows our primitive mind to stay in control. It is not the events in our life that cause anxiety. It is often the way we think about the events that causes the anxiety. Our minds cannot tell the difference between imagination and reality. Everyone has bad things happen in their lives. The more time we spend thinking positively, the more our intellectual, positive mind will be in control. The way we think becomes a habit, so if we think negatively a lot, it will become a habit. But equally, if we think positively a lot, that will become a habit. This is now the end of the second session of the workshop, but will be followed in a moment by another relaxation session. During the next session, we will briefly recap on the last session and then take a look at the first of the 3P's, positive thoughts, what gets in the way of us thinking positively, and what we can do to help ourselves to spend more time thinking positively. Until then, stay safe and think positive. As you lie yourself back, you can settle down and begin to relax. Just make yourself nice and comfortable. You can notice the weight of your head resting there on the surface, and you can be aware of your head relaxing, knowing that the surface it is on will fully support the weight of your head, so you don't have to hold any stress or tension in your shoulders or neck. You can just let your head rest back, nice and relaxed, and let go. And you can relax your shoulders too, because you know that what you're lying or sitting on will fully support you. It can take your full weight, your full height, every muscle, every fibre of your being, as you just relax back into it, fully supported. Because now is the time for you to do nothing. You don't have to be anywhere. You don't have to do anything. You can just lie back and relax. And your mind can drift and dream as you hear all the sounds around you, the sounds outside. None of these things need distract or disturb you, as they comfortably remind you that the world is still safely turning, and you can allow yourself a moment to just rest back, relax, and let go. You can let go of any tension in your stomach or across your shoulders. Ease off those muscles in your back and down your spine, and along the muscles in your legs, down through your ankles, and all the way to your feet, your toes, even your arms and every finger, loosening and relaxing, perfectly at ease, drifting and dreaming with your thoughts as you pay attention to your breathing, that gentle rise and fall that happens all by itself. And with every breath you take, and with every word I speak, you can just let go. And as you continue to relax further, begin to create a picture in your mind. Imagine that you are near the ocean just before sunrise. Perhaps you are on the beach, or in a hammock, or a dock. The sea is very calm. Most of the water looks very smooth, but you can see small ripples where gentle, peaceful waves roll in towards the shore. Take a few moments to imagine this scene. Picture all of the details of this relaxing place. The sun has not yet risen, but the sky is just starting to get light. The air is cool, comfortable, and pleasant. The temperature is very pleasant. It is a calm and comfortable morning. Imagine the feel of a slight, gentle breeze on your skin. The breeze blows just enough to move the leaves of trees gently back and forth. The leaves of the trees make a dark silhouette against the gradually lightening sky. Imagine the fresh smell of the air, the smell of the clean water and sand. It is a refreshing scent. Picture in your mind the sound of the water lapping against the shore. The sea is so calm. The waves are very quiet, but you can hear them still as they move gently and calmly. Hear the slight rustling of leaves as the tree's branches sway gently. It is early morning and you are the only one here. This is such a calm, safe, pleasant place. Relax here, near the gentle sea. Perhaps you are on a deck with wooden tables, umbrellas closed for the night. They will soon be opened to provide shelter from the sun, but for now they remain with their cloth tops folded down as if resting. Small huts with grass roofs provide shelter for some of the tables. During the day, this place is bustling with activity as people sit at the tables in the shelter, sipping cool drinks by the water. But now, all is quiet, peaceful, serene. Now you notice that the sun is starting to rise. You can see a spot of light at the horizon, as if the sun is rising right out of the water. See the light growing as the sun begins to rise above the horizon. Small streaks of light shine into the sky as the sky grows lighter and lighter with the growing dawn. See the birds that are active early in the morning. Some fly overhead. Some are already diving into the water looking for fish, whilst other birds simply sit quietly. They are enjoying the dawn as well. You can see some peaceful waves as they break some distance from the shore. White peaks rise in a line out in the water, crushing on a stone breaker that keeps the water close to the shore, peaceful and calm. See the waves crashing on the breaker. See the peaceful waves gently lapping at the shore, washing gently onto the sand. The waves are very calming. They are so peaceful, so rhythmic. Watch the peaceful waves flowing like your breath, in and out, in and out. Continue to observe the rhythm of the peaceful waves flowing with the rhythm of your breath. As you relax, you can enjoy the beautiful sunrise. Pink and orange give everything around you a warm glow. The sun has risen above the horizon, but is still low in the sky. The breeze, the warm, early sunlight, the gentle, lapping, peaceful waves, softly moving leaves, all of these create a calm and peaceful place. Continue to relax for a few moments here, enjoying the peaceful waves and the remaining calm time at sunrise. Soon this place will be busy with people going about their morning routines. Just enjoy the last few remaining moments of solitude as the sun rises higher in the sky. The sun is shining brighter each moment. This has become a beautiful morning. You can see people in the distance walking along the beach. The waves become a little bigger, a little bit more lively as the breeze increases. Everything around you seems to be waking up, getting ready for a lovely day. And when you are ready to wake up your body and your mind and return to the present, give yourself a few moments to do so. Begin to return your awareness to your surroundings and notice the real environment you are in. Let your muscles wake up by opening and closing your hands, shrugging your shoulders, moving around a little bit. Keep with you the feeling of peace and calm that you had whilst you were relaxing, as you open your eyes and sit quietly for a moment. When you are awake and alert, you can return to your usual activities, knowing that you can return to this place in your mind whenever you want to relax.